Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible clearly? Hello. Please confirm once whether I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Is there any background noise from my side?
No, sir.
Okay. Great. So we have started with the vector integration. We have discussed the first part, that is line integral and its physical interpretation as a work done in detail, right? And in the last lecture we have discussed about surface integral and its application to the Stokes theorem, isn't it? We have discussed one example also. So any doubt, any question in Stokes theorem? If you want to see a few more examples in Stokes theorem, let me show you some examples. um, these are some examples solved in the book. This is what the statement of Stokes theorem we have discussed, that is the surface integral of normal component. Is this visible, whatever I'm sharing?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So the surface integral of a normal component of a curl of vector point function f bar is taken over an open surface f bar. uh, just a minute. Okay, so this is the Stokes theorem. Statement says the surface integral of normal component of f bar uh, of the curl of vector point function f bar taken over an open surface S bounded by a closed curve C. So this is, you can see this is an open surface S which is bounded by this closed curve C, right, in anti-clockwise sense. So the surface integral of curl of f bar and its normal component is nothing but the line integral along the curve C, right, where this n cap this n cap is the outward normal to the surface S. Okay, so we have discussed the application of the Stokes theorem to solve examples. We have discussed one example also. I think, just a minute. This was the example we have discussed in last, right? Where f bar is given to be this x y square I cap plus y j cap plus z square x k cap, right? So to verify the Stokes theorem, we need to verify the left hand side, which is integral line integral of f bar dot d r bar over the closed curve C is nothing but the surface integral of normal component of curl of f bar, that is del cross f bar dot n cap ds over the surface S, which is bounded by this closed curve C, and that S must be open surface, right? So here that open surface is given to be a rectangular lamina. We have draw that rectangular lamina, right? And we have calculated the right hand side over this surface, right, where x varies from 0 to the x coordinate and y varies from 0 to the y coordinate, right? So we have got the right hand side and we have calculated the left hand side as a line integral over this closed curve from O to A to B, B to C, and C to O, isn't it? That is in anti-clockwise sense, yes or no? So along OA, along AB, along BC, and along CA, we have calculated, and the sum of all those integrals will be the required line integral along a closed curve over the rectangle. Is this clear? So we have verified the Stokes theorem. So here one more example, you can see verify the Stokes theorem for this particular f bar over the surface of cube Now, if we look at the surface of cube, that will be a closed cube. Remember, that will be always a closed cube, and we want the for the to use Stokes theorem, we want open surface, right? So that is why the next condition is given, that cube is given to be above the XOY plane, right? So that means what? It is open at bottom. Is this clear? So we have to consider only the bottom surface of the cube because that is only the open surface. Is this clear? And with respect to that, we will get our n cap and k cap. What is n cap here? If this is z axis, this is x axis, and this is y axis, then what will be n cap for this particular surface? Hello. See, we have to uh, consider only this bottom surface for the Stokes theorem because the raised surface is closed. This is closed with the remaining five surfaces. Okay, this is the only surface. So with respect to that surface only, we will get our n cap, which is in the direction of z axis, that is k cap. And
K-cap.
area element ds is, this is x axis, this is y axis, so area element is dx.
Dx, dy.
Okay, so don't need to get confused for this particular cube whether to consider n cap is minus k cap or n cap to be plus k cap. If this cube is given for the divergence theorem, then we need closed surface. So in that case, we have to consider n cap to be the unit outward normal. If you remember, right? Unit outward. That means that n cap must be in the direction of outside from the surface, like this. Is this clear? So remember this, for the Stokes theorem, we want n cap. So accordingly, we consider only the bottom surface here, which is a rectangle. If you plot this bottom surface in xy plane only, that is the rectangle, and we already have calculated, verified the Stokes theorem over the rectangle. Yes or no? In the first example, right? So in similar manner, we will get the required line integral. You can see here the right hand side. To calculate the right hand side, we have del cross f bar. N cap is k cap and area elements is dx dy. So the curl of f bar dot n cap will be only the k component, that is minus 1. And when we substitute into the right hand side with the limits of x and y, x varies from 0 to 2, y varies from 0 to 2 over the rectangle. We will get this. Is this clear to everyone? Hello? Please do reply. Left hand
Yes,
side
sir.
and right hand side. So that is what the verification. Now you can see the next example. This was asked again 3 to 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the previous pattern. So such examples are very important. That f bar is given and we have been asked to verify. See, in earlier pattern, the question was there for 4 marks only. In this pattern, the question may ask for 5 to 6 marks. So definitely verification will be there. In earlier pattern, verification was not there. There was no question on verification. The question only on evaluation of this surface integral. Okay, so in this time, in this pattern, the question may ask on verification also. So you should know both the line integral and surface integral for the calculation. Okay, so we have given f bar over the surface of hemisphere, right? Half sphere along above the XOY plane. So if you remember, this is a sphere with center as a origin. So if we consider a sphere, hemisphere above the XOY plane, then that will looks like this, right? So the bottom surface will be we consider as a open surface. Is this clear? So along XOY plane, evaluate this double integration curl of f bar, that is del cross f bar dot n cap ds for the surface of paraboloid. Okay, so if you remember, the half hemisphere is just like a paraboloid, right? The half sphere is just like a paraboloid, isn't it? Yes or no? This is just like a paraboloid, inverted paraboloid. Clear to everyone? So this is my open surface now. I'll consider this as an open surface. Okay. So what we do, we consider the left hand side, that is integration of f bar dot dr bar, where f1 dx, integration of f1 dx plus f2 dy plus f3 dz, right? um, but our open surface is lying in xy plane only, yes or no? So along xy plane, what is z component? Z equal to 0, right? So we substitute z equal to 0 into the integrand, we will get this. Is this clear? Now that, if you visualize this bottom surface S, then that will be a circle. Can you see this? Can you visualize this hemisphere on XOY plane? So that will be a circular region, no? Yes or no? Hello?
Yes,
See,
sir.
it is just like cutting of apple in middle. So what will be the surface? That will be a circular surface, na? So that is what the bottom of surface is. So we are evaluating this line integral over this circle, this curve, this bottom circle. And we all know that to calculate the line integral over circle, we use polar coordinates, right? So the polar coordinates are x is equal to a cos theta, r cos theta, y equal to r sin theta, and accordingly dx dy. Right, so we substitute x and y coordinate accordingly dx dy into the line integral, where theta varies from where to where? 0 to 2 pi. We calculate the line integral, and that is here we are getting to be minus 16 pi. That is the left hand side. सबको क्लियर है? हेलो, आप जल्दी जल्दी रिप्लाई करो यार.
Yes, sir.
नहीं करते.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sakshi, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So to evaluate the right hand side, let me write the Stokes theorem again. Integral of f bar dot dr bar over the closed curve C is nothing but the surface integral of curl of f bar, that is del cross f bar dot n cap ds over the surface S, which must be open surface. We have considered an open surface. Let us now evaluate del cross f bar. So first of all, tell me what is n cap to this circle? This circle is in xy plane, so n cap will be k cap, and area element is dx dy. Anyways, I don't have actually time to wait for your reply. Anyways, so curl of f bar is this. But now here the problem is, we don't know whether that hemisphere is I'm sorry, actually I've explained that the circle is on xy plane. That is not the case actually. That circle may be in xy plane, may not be, है ना? So n cap cannot be xy. आप एक imagine करो, visualize करो कि circle is or the sphere is cutting like this. Suppose this is a sphere and the circle will be like this. Okay, so hemisphere is like this. Yes or no? So we don't know which plane is this, whether it is xy plane or yz plane or xz plane or any arbitrary plane, and we want its n cap, right? So for any arbitrary surface, what we do? How do we find its n cap? N cap will be unit normal vector. So first of all, we will get n bar, that is del phi upon mod of del phi, right? So accordingly, we will get its n cap. You can see here n cap is calculated by phi. N cap is this. Sorry, this is your phi, and accordingly, n cap is del phi upon mod of del phi, where del phi we can calculate with these derivatives, and hence n cap is this one. This is your n cap. तो कर्ल ऑफ एफ बार क्या होगा फिर? कर्ल ऑफ एफ बार इज डेल क्रॉस एफ बार dot n cap. So when we take the dot product, we will get this as a curl of f bar dot n cap. Now again, we don't know whether that surface circle lies in xy or yz or xz or any arbitrary plane. So we cannot say ds directly. We cannot write. But if you remember the formula, you must have discussed in either in the M2 or in 12th, that projection formula, if you remember. For any uh, three-dimensional figure, we can get its projection along a plane, and then we can get the area element of that projection multiplied by some multiplying factor to get the required area element, right? That is a projection formula. So with the help of projection formula also we can get the area element. But here the surface ds is on hemisphere in a spherical polar system. Ds is equal to r square sine theta d theta d phi. How do we get this? This is actually nothing but the Jacobian. ds is any area element, and that ds, suppose that s is in xy plane, then ds is nothing but dx dy. So dx dy upon d theta d phi will be r square sine theta, right? This is nothing but the Jacobian of, if you remember, Jacobian of xy with respect to r and theta, na? Yes or no? Theta and phi, by keeping r constant. So this r square sine theta is nothing but the Jacobian into d theta d phi. So that is r is 16. So we substitute for the hemisphere. The limits are theta varies. See, if you remember, there are standard spherical polar coordinate system. That is x is equal to what, r sine theta sine cos phi, y is equal to r sine theta sine phi, and z is equal to z cos theta, right? Where theta vary, what are the limits of theta? Theta varies from 0 to hmm? So to get the limits of theta, phi, and r, you need to visualize the sphere actually. Suppose this is a sphere with these coordinates. So what is theta? And when we consider a rectangular strip, not rectangular, triangular strip like this, then theta is actually the angle made by this triangular strip with the z-axis. This is theta. And phi is the angle made by this triangular strip with the x-axis. This is phi. Okay, and r is the radius of the sphere. So this theta will always vary from 0 to pi. Okay, to complete the hemisphere, along with phi varies from 0 to 2 pi. So these are the limits of theta varies from 0 to pi by 2, not pi, 0 to pi by 2, and phi varies from 0 to 2 pi. Actually, actually for the complete sphere, theta varies from 0 to pi, and for hemisphere, theta varies from 0 to pi by 2 for hemisphere. These are the standard limits of theta and phi. Okay, so when we substitute x, y in terms of r, theta, phi, and ds, and the limits of theta and phi, we integrate it, we get the right hand side, that is minus 16 pi. So that is what the verification. Such examples definitely will be asked in the final. You can ask any doubt if you have, but these are the conceptual questions. You can see this is the next question. Apply the Stokes theorem to calculate this line integral. We already have solved, I think, right? We have solved this yesterday. Okay, so this is all about the Stokes theorem. Let me um, Examples on divergence theorem. So what the statement of divergence theorem is? The surface integral, I hope this is visible. The surface integral of normal component of f bar is nothing but the volume integral of volume bounded by this closed surface S, volume of divergence of f bar. So the example we have seen, example of cube, if you remember, verify the divergence theorem for this particular cube, and S, the surface of the cube bounded by the planes x equal to 0, y equal to 0. So this is this plane is x equal to 0, this plane, and its plane parallel to this is this a b d g, this plane. Okay, so this is x is equal to 2. Okay, then y equal to 0 means this plane, this AOFG, this one. This is y equal to 0 and y equal to 2, the plane parallel to that. Okay. And z equal to 0 means which plane? This bottom plane, right? This one. This is here z equal to 0. And z equal to 2 means which plane? Z equal to 2 means this top plane. Okay, so these are the 6 surfaces. So we have verified over these 6 surfaces, the left hand side and right hand side. I have already discussed that how do we calculate the left hand side. We have to calculate the left hand side for each of the surface integral, and then we do the sum of all the surface integral to get the required. You can see here, it is explained here. To evaluate the surface integral, consider the surface S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, and S6. So the integral over each of these surface. For S1, n cap is k cap because S1 is OABC. Can you see the OABC here? OABC, that is bottom plane z equal to 0. So as I already discussed yesterday, that for this bottom plane, n cap will be in the downward direction because n cap must be the unit outward normal, right? So here n cap is minus k cap. And what is the area element there? ds is dx dy because that is in xy plane. Is this clear? So we do use that n cap and ds to calculate the surface integral over S1. Similarly, for S2, S3, S4, S5, and S6, we calculate according to their limits also, we get the final. Now, this is very important question again. Verify the divergence theorem for this particular tetrahedron. So, F bar is given to us, and the volume of tetrahedron bounded by coordinate planes. Coordinate plane means plane bounded by coordinate axis. This is x axis, y axis, and z axis. So what is the plane bounded by xy axis? This is a plane bounded by xy axis, right? The plane bounded by xz axis are this one, and the plane bounded by yz is this one. Is this okay? So our volume of tetrahedron is a plane bounded by the coordinate plane and this plane. So these are the 3 coordinate planes. Along with this fourth plane, we will get our tetrahedron. So how do we draw this fourth plane? So to see this fourth plane, of course, cutting to the 3 coordinate axis, right? This plane will cut all the 3 coordinate axes if it is in cross. Can you see? Hello? So suppose this is our 3-dimensional coordinate system x, y, z, and this 2x plus y plus 2z equal to 6 plane is cutting to these 3 coordinate planes. Then that will cut to this z axis somewhere here, will cut to the x axis somewhere here, and that will cut to the y axis somewhere here. So if we see the figure, that will be looks like this. Yes or no? Hello? Everyone please do reply. That means when that plane is cutting to xz plane, when this plane is cutting to xz plane, what will be y coordinate along xz plane? 0, no? So here y coordinate is 0. So when we substitute y equal to 0, what we'll get? 2x plus 2z equal to 0, 6. That means x plus z is equal to 3. So we know this is nothing but the line in xz plane. Is this clear? So we can draw that line. Similarly, we can draw this line in xy plane by putting z coordinate 0 there. And similarly, by putting x coordinate 0, we get this line in yz plane. Is this clear? So how many plane are there? There are 4 planes. There are 4 planes: xy plane, yz plane, and xz plane. I'm drawing that those plane. And the fourth plane is this front plane. Can you see the front plane? This one, ye wala. Hello. Is this clear to everyone? This front plane is your fourth plane. Okay, so just like the last example we have seen, to evaluate the surface integral, double integral, we want the surface to be regular. That means there should not be any edge, because over the edge function is not differentiable. So for that purpose, we break this surface into 4 regular surfaces. Out of those 4, 3 surfaces are in coordinate planes, right? Can you see this triangle in xz plane? This triangle is one regular surface. Then this triangle is the another regular surface, and then this triangle will be another regular surface. And then fourth, this front surface. So over each of these surface, we have to calculate the double integration. Suppose this bottom surface, if we consider, suppose this is the bottom surface S1, this yz plane surface is S2, suppose, and this surface is S3, and this front surface is S4, suppose. This front surface is S4. Then what will be n cap and area element for this particular surfaces? As we know, S1 ke liye, S1 is the bottom surface where z coordinate 0. So what will be n cap there? N cap and area element. Hello? What is n cap related to S1? Am I audible? Any one of you? Okay, Ajjad?
Yes, sir,
Ajjad?
you're audible.
Huh. What is n cap related to S1? Ajjad? Hello, Ajjad? I'm asking to you.
Yes, sir, yes, yes, sir. What was the
What is
question?
the normal vector related to S1 surface? Hmm? Okay, tell me in what direction it will be.
Negative z direction, sir.
That will be in Z direction. But if we consider the positive direction of Z, then the n cap will be in inside the surface, right? That will go inside the tetrahedron. If we consider this direction. Hello?
Minus k cap, sir.
So n cap will be minus k cap. That must be in downward direction. So that will be outward normal. Is this clear? So related to S1, n cap will be minus k cap. And what is area element? As that surface lying in xy plane, area element is dx dy. What is n cap for S2? S2 is in yz plane. So n cap will be minus I cap. Right? That will be in the direction of negative x-axis. Because if we consider the positive x-axis, then that will goes inside the tetrahedron. and the area element ds will be what? dy dz. Clear to everyone? Accordingly S3 के लिए भी n cap क्या होगा? S3 के लिए भी n cap will be minus j cap and area element is dx dz. Now I'm asking n cap for S4. S4. We don't know whether S4 is in coordinate planes. Actually here from the diagram we can see S4 is arbitrary plane. That is neither completely in xy, yz or xz plane, right? So how do we get n cap for this arbitrary plane? Can you visualize that will be in like this direction, which is perpendicular to this surface, n cap. So how do you get this normal vector to this surface? Front surface. So that will be del phi upon mod of del phi. Okay. Del phi upon mod of del phi. And to get the area element, what we do, we take a projection of that surface, arbitrary surface onto xy plane, suppose. So when we take the projection of this surface onto xy plane, the coordinate or the area element of dx dy will come, area element of xy plane. But along with that, if you able to visualize this diagram, actual surface is bigger, suppose. So this projection is just like a shade of that region, right? So that shade may be having bigger value or the smaller value, right? Hello, yes or no? So that shade may be having bigger shape or the smaller shape than the original. So that means what? The original or the shade is projection will not give the exact value of the original figure. So there must be some multiplying factor. That multiplying factor is 1 upon mod of n cap dot k cap. This is the multiplying factor. Where what is this n cap? N cap you will get it by this, and k cap. Why k cap? Because for this particular xy plane, n cap will be in the direction of z axis. That is why k cap. If we take the projection over yz plane, then 1 upon n cap dot j cap will be there. Sorry, n cap yz plane के लिए n cap क्या होगा? I cap ना. So n cap dot I cap will be there. सबको clear है? So according to the projection, this n cap and area element will change. So with the help of these, we do calculate the left hand side, which is the double integration. Okay, so you can see here along S1, S2 and along S3 they have calculated, and along S1 lastly consider the surface S1. Actually that is the they have considered the arbitrary plane as a S1 only, first plane. You can see here. So n cap they have calculated as a del phi upon mod of del phi, and area element is this. So n cap dot k cap, and then S1 is the arbitrary surface they are taking. So f bar dot n cap ds. N cap ds is this 3 by 2 dx dy, and f bar dot f bar is, I mean, something is wrong, no? कुछ तो इसमें अच्छा, to take the area element they have taken this. So this is your f bar. You can see f bar dot n cap is this, they have calculated, where n cap is del phi upon mod of del phi, and then when we substitute into the integral this, now the point is how to get the limits of integration, because you can see here this arbitrary surface will be in arbitrary plane. We have taken the projection along xy plane. So we get the limits of x and y. Okay. But in xy plane, z coordinate will be 0. So we substitute. What is the plane given? 2x plus y plus 2z is equal to 6, right? So in xy plane, z coordinate is 0. So 2x plus y equal to 6. So if we consider, if we walking along x axis, then y component will be 0 there. So 2x is equal to 6, x is equal to 3. So x will vary from origin to 3, 0 to 3. Can you see here? And at the same time, we have to vary y. So y क्या होगा फिर इससे? Y will be 6 minus 2x. So y will vary from 0 to 6 minus 2x. ये बात क्लियर है सबको? कोई नहीं रिप्लाई करेगा. Anyways, so integrate this. So as we know, these are the limits of y. So integrate with respect to y first with these limits. Substitute upper limit minus lower limit, and then integrate with respect to x. ठीक है? Similarly, S2, S3, S4 are the coordinate planes. S2 के लिए Z0 लिया है, n cap एरिया एलिमेंट भी इजी है उसके लिए. कोऑर्डिनेट प्लेन्स के लिए बहुत इजी है. The problem is for the arbitrary plane. So surface integral will be sum of all those integrals to get the final answer. Hence the Green theorem verified. Sorry, not Green, divergence theorem. Next question, verify divergence theorem for this f bar, which is given to be this 4xzi plus xyz square j plus 3z k over the region above the xy plane, right? Bounded by the cone z square equal to x square plus y square and the plane z equal to 0. So always remember, if z is given in terms of square root of x square plus y square, then that will always represent a cone. ठीक है? And if that z is not the square root of x square plus y square, then that will be a we can say paraboloid. Okay, so here z is a cone given, and we have given the open surface. See, we all know that cone will be open at top, right? So only we can put the ice cream there, na? Inside the cone, right? So cone is open at top, so that is only the required surface for the calculation. But as we are discussing the divergence theorem, that top must be closed, and that is closed by this plane z equal to 4. Okay, so this is actually at top, this is the plane z equal to 0. जैसे कि एक ग्लास पे प्लेट रखा है. Can you visualize this? Hello? This is the plane z equal to 4 at height 4. Yes or no?
Yes.
So, how many surfaces are there for this cone? There are two surfaces, right? This curved surface and this bottom surface. Actually, that is not bottom, that is top now. So the curved surface and top surfaces. So that is why S1 and S2 are the two surfaces. Okay, so we have to get n cap and area element according to these surfaces. So first of all, we evaluate the right hand side of this divergence theorem. It is triple integration of del dot f bar dv. Del dot f bar calculate किया मैंने. That is 4z plus xz square plus 3. I have substituted that into this, and now to get the limits of xyz over the cone, we all know that cylindrical polar coordinate system. As like we have the spherical, we also have the cylindrical polar coordinate system. For the cone and cylinder we are using actually, if you remember, because cone is nothing but a sub part of cylinder only, right? So we need the cylindrical polar coordinate system for those. That is x is equal to rho cos phi, y equal to rho sine phi, and z equal to z. That means z is height is fixed. Only the change in uh, only the change in this angle, this phi is the angle made suppose if I consider the rectangular strip, then phi is the angle made by this rectangular strip with the x-axis. Always remember bottom surface. So that phi always vary from 0 to 2 pi because bottom surface is just like a circular. Okay. And the rho means radius of the cone, we can say, or the cylinder, that is varies from 0 to 4. Okay. And z varies from 0 to the height, that is 0 to 4. Now you must be thinking that how to get the limit of or the radius of this cone. How do we get the limit of rho? Because as we all know, first of all, the question is how to draw the cone. So to draw this cone, particular cone z square equal to x square plus y square, what we do, we, oh shit, what happened? I'm sorry for this technical problem. So here we are here, right? So to draw the cone, what we do, we first put z equal to 0. So for z equal to 0, what we get, x square plus y square equal to 0. That means origin is the point, na, where x and y are 0. X square plus y square equal to 0 means x y equal to 0. Now, as we go on varying the value of z from z equal to 0 to 4, what we get, for z equal to 1, suppose, what we get, x square plus y square is equal to 1. That is nothing but the unit circle, right? X square plus y square equal to 1 at height z equal to 1. Similarly, x square plus y square is equal to 2 at height root 2. Similarly, x square plus y square is equal to 3 at height root 3. And x square plus y square is equal to 4 at height 4, and the radius will be 2. Am I right? Is this clear to everyone? So this is how we can get the radius of the cone or the radius of the cylinder also. So we substitute all these coordinates into the three-dimensional system. We calculate with respect to rho, theta and z. We get the answer to be 320 pi. And similarly, to calculate the left hand side of Stokes theorem, what the Stokes theorem is, sorry, what the divergence theorem is, double integration of double integration of f bar dot n cap ds over the closed surface S is same as calculation of volume integral of divergence of f bar over the volume V. Right? So we have calculated this right hand side. Now to calculate the left hand side as a surface integral, to obtain the surface integral, we have to consider the two surfaces S1 and S2. As I said, S1 is the plane surface, which is a surface of circle, right? X square plus y square is equal to 16. Is it 16 really? At z equal to 4, we will get x square plus y square is equal to 16 na, with the radius 4. Right. So, and the plane z equal to 4. So, and the surface S2 is the curved surface of the cone. Can you see this? Curved surface. You can see the diagram over here. Curved surface of the cone. These are the only two surfaces. Right. So, for this particular S1, what is n cap? As we know, S1 is the top surfaces, so n cap will be unit outward normal, that will be in the direction of z axis, so n cap is k cap. And as that plane is parallel to the xy plane, so the area element is dx dy. So f bar dot n cap क्या होगा? 3z we substitute here, and for this, as we are integrating over this circle, we substitute the, or you can see here, this circle is at height z equal to 4, so I can substitute z equal to 4 into this, so that will be 12. I can write outside, and double integration of dx dy over s1. But s1 is a circle, and this is the formula of area of that s1, right? So area of circle, that is 4 pi square, that is this. Now along this curved surface of this cone, we don't know whether it is in coordinate planes or what. So to get the n cap to this particular, what we do, we use the formula of n cap to be del phi upon mod of del phi, right? So using that, we will get the unit normal vector, and even so we f bar dot n cap will be this, and to we take the projection of this along xy plane with the help of this formula. So n cap dot k cap is this. So the ds, area element ds, will be equals to this into dx dy. So we substitute into the integral, right? So this is getting cancelled, and for x square this, for z is equal to, okay, we take z common from this z is getting cancelled, we'll get this, okay. And for the limits, you can see where the integration is to be carried over the circle x square plus y square is equal to 16. So the limits are the limits of integration. So what we get, the limits for evaluation of the integral over the plane circle transforming to polar coordinate x is equal to r cos theta and y equal to r sin theta, r and dr. The limits are r varies from 0 to 4 and theta varies from 0 to 2 pi. We calculate, and the sum of both of these integral will be definitely the right hand side we have calculated, which is volume integral. Yes, any doubt, any question in Stokes theorem and divergence theorem? I'm going to conclude this discussion over these two theorems. Please ask if any doubt. Everyone? Any doubt, any question?
No, sir.
Okay, great. Everyone just do reply in chat box whether any doubt or not, so that I'll come to know how many people are attending the lecture. Seriously. Everyone. And I'll consider the attendance of those only who are replying. So the last point of this unit, unit number 5, applications, as I already discussed and started these applications while we have concluded the unit number 4, right? That is applications of vector to electromagnetic fields, right? These applications are to the Maxwell's equations, actually, Maxwell's equations. So just a minute, let me start this. and to the where is this goes? Is this visible? Is this document visible? I've shared.
Yes, sir, it is.
So electromagnetic fields and its applications. Right. So we have seen these basic terminologies like Coulomb's law, electric field intensity, charge density, electrostatic potential, electric flux, Gauss's law in electrostatics, work done in moving a particle, in moving a point charge, magnetic field. Okay, so here comes the Maxwell's equations. When charges are in motion, the electric and magnetic fields are associated with this motion, which have space and time variation. This is the phenomenon of electromagnetism. Electromagnetism and are very useful in the analysis of electromagnetic fields. The equations are given below are called Maxwell's equations. We have noted this Maxwell's equation while discussing the unit number 4. Maxwell's equation in the point form are given to be this. Right, Maxwell's equation in point form and Maxwell's equation in integral form. Del cross curl of H bar is this. Actually, JC is the current flowing through the circuit. Del cross E bar. E bar is the electric potential. H bar is the induction. Okay. And D is the dielectric flux, I think. Right. Del dot D bar. Del dot B bar. Okay. These are the terminologies. B bar is the heat actually. No, not heat. B bar is the something related to these terminologies. B bar is somewhere here. Anyways, so let us discuss the example based on this. Okay, and the next equations, Maxwell's equation in a free space where the current is zero are this, nothing but this in point form and in integral form. So if you remember the statements of the theorem, just now we have discussed Gauss divergence theorem, and then Stokes theorem and Green's theorem, that the line integral over the closed curve C h bar dot dr bar is nothing but the surface integral of this f bar dot ds bar. So where we have seen this line integral is related to the surface integral, that is nothing but the which theorem? Stokes theorem, right? Now the line integral over the closed curve C is nothing but the surface integral. That is this is again a Stokes theorem, and the line integral over the curve C is the volume integral actually. Actually, this must be a surface integral, right? Because that is as it is ds bar. So the surface integral is nothing but the volume integral, but this is nothing but the divergence theorem, right? And this is also the divergence theorem where the volume will be 0. So that is why we have kept these applications for this unit. This is an example. Two Maxwell's equations in two Maxwell's electromagnetic equations are given to be this: del dot B bar equal to 0 and del cross E bar is equal to minus dabba B bar by dabba T, where B bar is the curl of A bar. Then with these given things, deduce E bar plus dabba A bar upon dabba T equal to minus gradient of V bar. V, not V bar, where V is the scalar point function. Okay, so let us write the given things. These two things we have given. And B bar is actually the curl of A bar. That is also given to us. But we have, in the deduction part, we want the dabba A bar by dabba T. So what we do, to get the derivative of A bar, we differentiate this B bar on both sides, because A bar is there in B bar only. So we differentiate both sides. Dabba B bar by dabba T is equal to dabba by dabba T of this. But derivative, this dabba by dabba T is the derivative that goes inside, and that will differentiate dabba A bar by dabba T. This is also the differential operator, but we can interchange the derivatives if you remember, right? We can interchange. So I'm taking the partial derivative dabba by dabba T with respect to T inside, and then del outside. And this is given to be, no, actually, del cross B bar is given to be minus dabba B bar by dabba T. Right, this is given. So what we do, this is dabba B bar by dabba T, and del cross B E bar is this minus of this. So dabba B bar by dabba T will be minus del cross E bar, right? So minus times dabba B bar by dabba T is equal to del cross E bar. I have substituted, and then this, or the left hand side I have taken to the right hand side, it becomes plus there, right? So if you remember one identity, we have seen del cross U bar plus del cross V bar will be del cross U bar plus V bar, right? Del cross U bar plus del cross V bar will be del cross U bar plus V bar, right? And if we have, this is now vector, and if we have del cross F bar is equal to 0, then what can we say about F bar? F bar is irrotational, right? So that is what they have asked. Show that this is irrotational. No, that is not asked, but that can be asked. So with this, we can proceed with considering F bar to be E bar plus dabba A bar by dabba T. As it is irrotational, it will be conservative, and that conserves some energy in the form of scalar potential V. So that will be minus of del V. The negative sign gives due to the electromagnetism. So F bar we have considered to be this. So on left hand side we get E bar plus dabba A bar by dabba T is equal to minus del dot V. No, sorry, not dot, del V only. Okay, and that is what we wanted to prove actually. So what I'll do, I'll share this PDF to you all. You just go through the PDF and ask me any questions, if any. The Maxwell's equation. Definitely one question will be there in the final on Maxwell's equation in question number 5. Okay, so shall we stop here? Is there any next lecture? Do we have a schedule of next lecture? हेलो,
सर लिंक नहीं आई बट होगा
किसका है?
सर।
एज
टाइम
पर द
टेबल में
शेड्यूल
लिख
माई
रहा
लेक्चर इज द लास्ट लेक्चर, राइट? मेरा ही लेक्चर लास्ट है आज का।
नहीं सर, शेड्यूल आगे पीछे हो रहा थोड़ा इतना में।
तो आगे का स्लॉट मैं ही लूंगा अभी। लेट्स टेक अ ब्रेक फॉर 10 मिनट्स, चलेगा? विल इट बी ओके टू एवरीवन? हेलो, हेलो।
Yes, sir.
So I'm taking next lecture, and I'm going to finish the half unit, unit number 6. See, unit number 5 over here. I'm going to start with unit number 6, which is again very, very important from the last theory point of view, last exam point of view. Okay. So the main part, analytic function and the complex differentiation, I'm going to discuss today only. And tomorrow's lecture, I'm going to finish the unit number 3 also. So today's 2 lecture and tomorrow's 1 lecture. These 3 lectures I'm going to spare for unit number 6. So this is again very, very important. It's request to join everyone after 10 minutes. Yes, Chaitanya?
Sir, fifth
You want
unit
to say?
संपला ना?
Yes, 5th unit over here. 5th unit संपला थे.
Okay,
ठीक
sir.
आहे? सो मी 10 मिनिटानंतर परत जॉईन होतो. तुम्ही पण जॉईन व्हा. ठीक आहे. अँड देन वी विल कंटिन्यू अवर डिस्कशन विथ युनिट नंबर 6 फॉर नेक्स्ट 2 hours. I'll take the attendance also.